Need to get this off my chest after everything that happened last month at my best friend Tabitha's 29F wedding. This requires a lot of backstory to understand how we got here. Tabitha and I met in kindergarten when her family moved next door to us. From day one, we were inseparable. Our rooms had windows facing each other, and we created a pulley system to send notes back and forth. We shared everything: clothes, secrets, dreams, fears. I knew all her embarrassing stories, and she knew all of mine. Her house was my second home. When my mom worked late shifts at the hospital, I'd have dinner with Tabitha's family. Our families became incredibly close. Tabitha's parents treated me like another daughter. Her mom taught us both how to cook, took us shopping for our first bras, and gave us both the talk about periods. When my parents went through a brutal divorce when I was 12, Tabitha's family took me in for almost 2 months. Her mom packed my lunch for school alongside Tabitha's. Her dad helped me with math homework. They gave me stability when my world was falling apart. We went to the same high school and planned to attend the same college. Everything changed sophomore year when Tabitha met Harry, 31M, at a campus party. He was a senior, charming and popular. Everyone loved him. He was on the soccer team, volunteered at the animal shelter, and always seemed to know exactly what to say. Tabitha was completely smitten. At first, I was happy for her. But small things started bothering me. Harry would make suggestive comments when Tabitha wasn't around. He'd place his hand on my lower back too long when saying hello. Once, he commented on my gym shorts being too short, then winked saying he wasn't complaining. I tried telling Tabitha, but she said I was misinterpreting his friendly nature. She said Harry was like that with everyone, just a big flirt who never meant anything by it. The night everything happened was during spring break of sophomore year. Harry hosted a party at his off-campus apartment. Tabitha was excited because most of the soccer team would be there. I didn't want to go, but Tabitha begged me. I had 3 vodka sodas, not enough to black out but definitely tipsy. Around 1 a.m., I started feeling nauseous. Tabitha noticed and insisted I stay over instead of walking back to my dorm. She said Harry had a spare room for exactly these situations. I remember Tabitha helping me to the room and bringing me water. I fell asleep almost immediately. I woke up around 3 a.m. to Harry in my room. I thought he was checking on me at first. He sat on the bed and started touching me. I was frozen in fear. I kept thinking Tabitha was just down the hall. When I tried to push him away, he covered my mouth and said no one would believe me anyway. He was right. The next morning, I left before anyone woke up. I spent hours in the shower feeling disgusted with myself. I blamed myself for drinking, for wearing a crop top, for not fighting harder. I stopped going to parties. I made excuses to avoid group gatherings. I threw myself into studying. Tabitha kept asking what was wrong, saying she missed me. I couldn't look her in the eye knowing what her boyfriend had done. After 2 months of avoiding everyone, I applied for a transfer to another college. I told Tabitha I got a better scholarship. She was hurt but understood. We stayed connected on social media, liking each other's posts and sending birthday wishes. But our daily calls became monthly, then yearly. Last month, Tabitha called out of the blue. She was getting married to Harry and wanted me as her maid of honor. She said she missed our friendship and wanted to rebuild it. I agreed, thinking I was strong enough now to handle being around Harry. I thought I had processed everything. The wedding was beautiful. Tabitha looked radiant. During my maid of honor speech, I started with childhood memories. Then I saw Harry smirking at me from the head table. 10 years of suppressed anger and pain bubbled up. Before I knew what I was doing, I was telling everyone what their perfect Harry had done to me that night. The silence was deafening. Then Tabitha started screaming that I was lying. Harry's sisters called me jealous and pathetic. Tabitha's mom, who once held me through nights of crying about my parents' divorce, was shaking her head in disgust. Tabitha's dad, who taught me to drive, wouldn't even look at me. Security escorted me out while Tabitha's mascara ran down her face. My phone exploded with messages. High school friends calling me an attention seeker. Tabitha's family saying I betrayed them. Mutual friends suggesting I get mental help for my delusions. Harry's family threatening legal action. Only my sister believed me. She said my behavior after that night suddenly made sense, how I became withdrawn and depressed, how I stopped wearing revealing clothes, how I flinched when men touched me. Some people suggested I apologize, say I was drunk and confused at the wedding. Say I made it up for attention. But I won't. I know what happened that night. Every detail is burned into my memory. Even if no one believes me, even if I lost my best friend and second family, I'm done keeping his secret. Tabitha texted saying she never wants to speak to me again. She said I was dead to her. Maybe our friendship died that night 10 years ago, and I've just been hanging on to a ghost. But for the first time in 10 years, I can breathe freely. The truth is out, even if no one believes it. Update 1 first, I want to thank everyone for their supportive comments and messages. I've read every single one, even though I haven't been able to respond to all. Your support helped me stay strong through what happened next. A week after the wedding incident, I was at work when I got a call from an unknown number. It was Caroline, 21F, Tabitha's younger sister. I almost didn't pick up, but something told me I should. Caroline was crying so hard I could barely understand her at first. Once she calmed down, she told me she'd been carrying her own secret about Harry. Since she was 16, he'd been making inappropriate comments about her body and how she was growing up nicely. He would corner her at family gatherings when no one was around, touching her shoulder or waist, telling her she was his favorite sister-in-law. She showed me screenshots of messages he sent her late at night, asking what she was wearing or if she wanted to hang out when Tabitha was working night shifts at the hospital. Caroline said she tried telling Tabitha once, but Tabitha dismissed it as Harry being brotherly and said Caroline was too sensitive. After that, Caroline stayed quiet. She was only 16 and everyone loved Harry so much. She started making excuses to avoid family dinners when she knew he'd be there. Her parents just thought she was being a typical moody teenager. When I spoke up at the wedding, Caroline said she felt simultaneously relieved and terrified. Relieved that someone finally exposed Harry's true nature, but terrified because of how everyone reacted. She saw how her parents turned on me, someone they'd known and loved for 20 years. She's afraid the same will happen to her. While Caroline and I were still on the phone, Tabitha posted a lengthy Facebook rant about me. She wrote about how I'd always been jealous of her relationship with Harry, how I flirted with him constantly in college but he never gave me attention. She claimed I made up lies because I'm bitter about being single while she found her perfect man. The post was filled with old photos of us, twisted to fit her new narrative. A photo of me hugging Harry at her birthday party became evidence of my obsession with him. A time I cried about a breakup became proof of my instability. The comments were worse. High school friends I hadn't spoken to in years suddenly had stories about my attention-seeking behavior. College acquaintances claimed they always knew something was off about me. Tabitha's cousins called me mentally unstable. Harry's sisters suggested I needed professional help. The post had hundreds of shares by evening. That night, I got a message from a burner Instagram account. It was Harry. He wrote that I'd regret opening my mouth, that he had screenshots of me coming onto him in college, completely fabricated, and that his family had enough money to bury me in legal fees if I didn't publicly retract my statement. He said no one would believe the jealous best friend over the successful doctor he'd become. I was shaking so badly I had to call my sister. She came over immediately and helped me document everything, screenshots of Harry's threats, Tabitha's post, the hateful comments. We wrote down everything I could remember from that night 10 years ago, every detail still burned in my memory. The next day, Tabitha's mom called. She was crying, saying she couldn't believe I would hurt her daughter like this. She brought up every kind thing their family had ever done for me, taking me in during my parents' divorce, helping me apply for colleges, attending my graduation. She said I owed them loyalty after everything. When I tried explaining my side, she cut me off saying I was breaking her heart all over again. I hung up. My friend circle has shrunk dramatically. People I thought would be in my life forever are now strangers. My phone still buzzes constantly with messages telling me to kill myself or leave town. Caroline is the only one from that side still talking to me, and she has to do it secretly. Looking at old photos is the hardest part. Tabitha and me at our high school graduation, matching friendship bracelets visible in the photo. Family vacations where I was included without question. Tabitha's mom teaching us to make her secret recipe cookies. 20 years of memories, of inside jokes, of shared secrets, all gone because I finally spoke my truth. But you know what? I'm still standing. Every hateful message, every lost friend, every betrayal, it hurts, but not as much as carrying that secret for 10 years did. Caroline told me I gave her courage. Maybe someday she'll be strong enough to tell her truth too. For now, I'm focusing on documenting everything and staying strong. Several people suggested I get a restraining order against Harry, and I'm looking into my legal options. My sister is my rock through all this. She reminds me daily that I'm not crazy, that my truth matters, that I'm stronger than I know. Tabitha posted another status today about getting back from her honeymoon. All smiles and perfect couple photos. Sometimes I wonder if she really doesn't believe me, or if she's choosing to ignore the truth to preserve her perfect life. Either way, I'm done carrying this burden for her comfort. I'll update if anything significant happens, especially regarding Caroline's situation. Thank you all again for your support. It means more than you know. Update 2. I didn't think I'd be updating again, but something major happened yesterday that changed everything. I was at my usual coffee shop downtown, working on my laptop. I always go there because it's far from where Tabitha and Harry live, so I thought I'd be safe from running into anyone. I was wrong. I looked up when someone pulled out the chair across from me, and there was Harry, smirking like he owned the place. Before I could leave, he started talking. I was trembling but remembered what my sister said about documenting everything. I secretly turned on my phone's recording app while keeping it face down on the table. Harry was casual, almost friendly at first, like we were old pals catching up. Then his true colors came out. He laughed about how I made a fool of myself at the wedding, saying everyone thought I was just a bitter, jealous ex-friend trying to steal attention. He said Tabitha cried for days, but he comforted her by reminding her how unstable I'd always been. Then he said something that made my blood run cold. He started bragging about other women, a waitress from his favorite restaurant, a nurse at his hospital, even one of Tabitha's cousins. He laughed about how they all stayed quiet, just like I did for 10 years. He said there's no point speaking up because no one ever believes the woman, especially when the man is a successful doctor from a good family. The worst part was when he mentioned Caroline. He said she was growing up nicely and asked if she ever told me about their special chats. My hands were shaking so hard I almost dropped my phone, but I kept recording. When he finally left, I sat there crying for an hour. Then I got angry. Really angry. I sent the recording to Tabitha first. Then to her parents, her sister, and her close friends who had defended Harry. I sent it to Harry's boss at the hospital too. Within hours, my phone was blowing up again, but differently this time. Tabitha called me sobbing, saying other women had reached out to her after the wedding with similar stories about Harry, but she hadn't wanted to believe them. She admitted seeing signs over the years, how he'd get too friendly with her friends when drunk, how some female friends stopped coming around, how he always had excuses for late nights at work. Tabitha's parents called next. Her mom was hysterical, especially about the comments regarding Caroline. She kept saying she was sorry, that she should have known, should have seen the signs, should have believed me. Her dad was eerily quiet, but I could hear him crying in the background. Caroline called too. She broke down completely, finally telling her parents everything. All the messages, the uncomfortable encounters, the times she pretended to be sick to avoid family gatherings. Her parents are devastated they didn't protect their younger daughter. The hospital where Harry worked started an internal investigation. 3 nurses have already come forward. His perfect reputation is crumbling. Last I heard, he's on administrative leave pending investigation. Tabitha moved back to her parents' house. She's talking about divorce. All their wedding photos have disappeared from social media. Her previous posts attacking me are gone too. Some friends who'd sided with Harry are now awkwardly reaching out to apologize. Part of me feels vindicated, but mostly I feel tired. This was never about revenge or ruining lives. I just couldn't stay silent anymore watching him pretend to be this perfect husband while privately tormenting other women. The support group I mentioned in comments last time has grown. We have 8 members now, all with similar stories about Harry. We meet weekly to talk. It helps knowing we're not alone, even though I wish none of us had these stories to tell. Tabitha wants to meet and apologize in person. I'm not ready. 20 years of friendship meant nothing when she chose to believe I would lie about something so serious. Her pain now doesn't erase my pain from the past 3 months of being called a liar and attention seeker. Harry's family is still defending him, calling it a conspiracy against their perfect son. But with the recording and multiple victims coming forward, their defense is falling on deaf ears. His sister deleted her social media after people started sharing screenshots of her posts calling me mentally unstable. I'm working with a lawyer now to make sure everything is documented properly. Several other victims are considering legal action too. The truth is finally coming out, and Harry can't smirk his way out of it anymore. Update 3. This will probably be my final update. Life has settled into a new kind of normal, though nothing is like it was before. Tabitha and Harry's divorce was finalized last month. She got the house, which she immediately sold, said she couldn't live there with all the memories. She's been trying persistently to rebuild our friendship. She sends long emails about how sorry she is, how she should have believed me, how she'll regret her reaction at the wedding for the rest of her life. Last week she left a box on my doorstep filled with our old photos and friendship bracelets from high school. I haven't responded. 20 years of friendship died the moment she chose not to believe me. Her recent texts about missing her soul sister feel hollow after she spent months calling me a liar and attention seeker. When we run into each other at the grocery store or coffee shop, I'm polite but distant. She cries sometimes, saying she'd do anything to fix things. But some things can't be fixed with apologies and old photos. Caroline is doing much better. She finally told her parents everything, showing them years of inappropriate messages and documenting every uncomfortable encounter. They're almost suffocatingly protective of her now. She can't go anywhere without checking in. Her dad drives her to and from her college classes. It's overwhelming, but she says it's better than the years of hiding and fear. The support group has grown to 12 women now. We meet every Wednesday. Some are former patients from the hospital, others are women Harry encountered socially. Each story is different but painfully familiar. The hospital investigation revealed a pattern of inappropriate behavior with female staff and patients. Harry lost his medical license last month. Harry's family is still in denial. His mother wrote a long Facebook post about how we're all lying women trying to ruin her son's life. She claimed he was too handsome for his own good and women threw themselves at him. The post backfired spectacularly when people started sharing screenshots of Harry's threatening messages in the comments. Some mutual friends have apologized for not believing me. Others still maintain I ruined a perfect marriage out of spite. I've learned to let go of needing everyone to believe me. The truth came out, and that's what matters. Tabitha's parents invited me to Christmas dinner, saying they missed their third daughter. I declined. Her mom still calls occasionally, crying about how she failed both her daughters by not seeing Harry's true nature. I understand her pain, but I'm not in a place to comfort her. My sister says I'm different now, stronger, more confident. The darkness I carried for 10 years is gone. I'm focusing on my career, making new friends who know nothing about this history. I've started dating again, slowly learning to trust. Sometimes I miss the old days with Tabitha. Our midnight talks, family vacations, inside jokes no one else understood. But then I remember her face at the wedding, twisted with hatred as she called me a liar. I remember the months of harassment and isolation that followed. Some friendships aren't meant to survive trauma. The legal proceedings are ongoing. 3 of the women from our support group filed charges. My lawyer says the recording will help their cases. Harry's perfect life is unraveling thread by thread, and I don't feel an ounce of regret. They say the truth sets you free. They don't mention it burns everything in its path first. But standing in the ashes of my old life, I can finally breathe. I'm not carrying his secret anymore, and that's worth everything I lost. This will be my last update. Thank you all for being part of this journey. Your support helped me stay strong when I needed it most.